I just realized after I finished making the previous video that one of the most important reasons that I focused on row 58 of the infinity pi matrix, I totally left that out. But I'll start from the 556 because that was a prominent number which is connecting with 356. The moment I found it, I'm like, okay, there's 356. I got to call him. But 556, okay, I was beginning to start it, but then I went off track. Okay, 556, so someone said, can you enter, this is a real thing, it happened last night. Someone said, can you put your number in? Okay, so I put my number in. And then that person, when I looked at the number, I said, oh, their number's 556. And I happen to know that 556 is a gematria of the Hebrew word Sharon, spelled Shin Resh Vav Nun. Okay? I thought Sharon, okay, it could be in English Sharon, or it could be like Ariel Sharon, it could be a last name, so Adam Sharon. So I thought, okay, I know someone, actually a man, a guy named Sharon. But in Hebrew, it could be a guy's name. His name is Sharon. Sharon. Actually, I know two people named Sharon that are men. But anyway, this one guy I was thinking of in particular, and okay, he never shows up. He does not show up in the morning during to davening. He doesn't. And okay, and this other person who happened to have been a woman, but she gave me her to put in your phone number. And I thought out this guy Sharon, and he does not show up ever in the morning. The next morning, this particular Sharon shows up, and the gematria of this person's phone number, it was 556. That means that I inadvertently prophesied. I looked at 556 and I said, oh, Sharon. I just thought about him, and he shows up the next morning for prayers. Now, think about that. See, that's not an accident. In my mind, that is not an accident. That is absolutely, I'm tapping into some kind of causational algorithm, some kind of causational program that is scripted in mathematically, and it can be found in pi. In this case, I found it in pi, but just I stumbled upon it. But this is what keeps it so exciting, is that it's absolutely reliable. It shows that the Hebrew gematrias and English gematrias are just, it's not like a goofy gimmicky thing. These are one of the hard sciences. This is no different than math or science, physics, etc. But it doesn't stop there. So Sharon. So then I start to think Sharon. Okay, I see this guy named Sharon. Wow, that's cool. I never see him in the morning, and he shows up after this phone number comes in. Sharon. Okay, fine. Then I started thinking about a lot of different Sharons. Every Sharon that I know. And then it trickles down. It goes like, okay, so as I'm focusing on Sharon, I'm in that 556 dimension, okay? And then let's cut to later on, and there's a certain way that I walk on certain days. Like, for example, on Thursday, I'll walk on this street to this particular store only on Thursdays. And I do that intentionally because I'm trying to create these sort of fixed sort of codes so that you can remember things easily, but also if it changes, then you can remember it easier also. So this day I said, maybe I'll walk a different way. And guess what? I walked by a house, and the house is being sold, and a few blocks into this other way that I would not usually walk, there's a real estate sign, and the real estate lady, her first name is Sharon. Okay, how do you explain that one? Really, how do you explain that one? I tapped into some kind of zone, not a Twilight Zone, but like a Sharon zone, where there's a chain reaction of all these Sharons, and I don't know I haven't really found out how to harness this yet, but the prospect of something possibly be able to be harnessed like this is thrilling, because it shows that a person can actually tap into some of these patterns if you know enough gematria. I think that the greater the gematria circle, the more consciousness you can have, and the greater number of like zones you can step into. Like if I knew the chain reaction of of a group of numbers and all of their respective gematrias, and it does in English, Hebrew, Spanish, French, and I knew all of that, I could create. So that's basically, and this is actually row 58. It's very fascinating that it is, because 58 is the number for chen in Hebrew, and you can also analyze the actual row itself, the number. And chen is all about, according to Ariel, not Sharon, but a different Ariel, Ariel Cohen Oloro, really goes to town with the word chen. I mean, he shows how chen is all about. It's all about symmetry, paradox, and beauty. It's a beauty, or it's a grace and a beauty that is specifically related to paradox and symmetry and a harmony between tensions, holding a tension in balance. And so it's very appropriate that this is in infinity pi matrix row 58. It's in the chen row. Like the Chavatzelet HaSharon, Shoshanat HaAmakim, in Shir HaShirim, I'm the valley, I'm the lily of Sharon, Chavatzelet HaSharon, Shoshanat, the rose of the valley, whatever. It's in Song of Songs, the whole thing. The point is that it's good stuff.